Alright, what's good, y'all? Hey, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all off top. I'm not a pro player by any means. I've never been to Final Kombat, never been to Evo, never even hit Elder God. I just play this character a lot on stream.
You're so bad. I don't even try.
He's talking shit, bro. I'm finna get on his ass.
I do it on TikTok and Twitch. And
Stupid bitch. Stupid bitch. Stupid bitch.
I'm not trying, but you're
stupid. You better start trying.
apparently people just enjoy watching me play with Reptile. And I've had a good number of people in the chat ask me to make a tutorial with them. In my head, I was like, why the fuck would you want to learn from me? I'm not even that good. But I think I know enough maybe to give a few of y'all some good information. Maybe I can give you some things that maybe they might have missed in their tutorials, or maybe I can explain it in a way that would help you better. So I figured, why not? Let's do it. Hold on, bro. If you're like brand spanking new to the game, go ahead and take a minute to just understand this. Also, please copy down these settings so that you don't have a horrible time, and please do the full tutorial, specifically the frame data part. This did take a fat minute to put together, so if you can just turn that thumbs up white, that'll be very much lit. And if you enjoy stuff like this, hit the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments. Thank you. So I'm just gonna break this guy down by like button by button and just explain, I guess, like every scenario in which I would use these buttons, right? So first button of the day, standing one, right? This is gonna be like usually my go-to punish in most cases, or like my go-to just kind of combo starter. So you can confirm this into the bubble, right? You can get a combo starter like that. You can confirm it into 114. Right, this is gonna be your usual go-to punish. Standing one is also like a pretty good anti-air tool. Like the hitbox on it is just dumb, so if they jump at you, you can get a pretty good anti-air. Boom, right? And just go into whatever. Also, like in the corner, right? Sometimes I would do that if they try to jump out of the corner, or if they were to neutral jump. I would do like a standing one, right? Like to anti-air them in the case that they would try to fake me out with what I think would be a neutral jump punch, but then they just like do a grab or something, so they would do something like this. Right, so like if I'm expecting that, go for the anti-air, just like stand one. Standing two, I would normally do this as a punish if I had the intent to go into 2-3, right? But 2-3 is very punishable, so it's not a string that you would want to throw out. But like say like, you know, you're basically just playing neutral, right? Another option is 2-4, which is a good low mix and it's also safe. That's pretty much the only thing I would do after standing two, but I would do this kind of like to do some staggers. Maybe I want to do like a standing one, grab something like that, and then back up and do like a back three or something like that, or just go 1-1-4, right? That full string is safe. Maybe set up some DB4 cancels, things like that. Standing three is one of my favorite buttons with this character, because the range is just stupid, right? Like look how far it goes. Yeah, and it also hits them twice, right? So like if they wake up armor, and like that second hit actually hits them, then like it'll knock them out of their armor, and then you can confirm that into like a Mavado. So something like this, right? Like you can like take them out of that and then like fully confirm that to like a Mavado. Super good. But see right there, I still got hit, so it's kind of, you know, you kind of got to time it. Like different characters have different wake ups, so like I just think it's good to just throw that out like on knockdown. Cool. So that's pretty much standing three. I also like to use standing three to set up these DB4 cancels, right? To set up combos like this, right? Because if you do standing three, you can actually get like a full hit confirm off of it. So we'll go more in depth on that like later in the video. Standing four, I don't use this button a lot. It's good for some combos to extend them. Like if you're in the corner, you can get like a standing four in there, right? I don't usually use it a lot. I know it does give you good damage, but I usually just go for the forward two when I'm trying to extend like that. Like if I'm doing something like this, and then I would go like forward two, right? I would do forward two to extend my bubbles. I know you can use standing four, and it's probably better, but I'm not that good, bro. I already told y'all, bro. Another way I would use standing four, if they're like blocking, this is like very, very random. I would just do this maybe like once per game, but like sometimes I would just do a standing four into like a bubble. This is super unsafe and like not smart, but sometimes they're just not ready for it. Like his whole back is turned to him, so they're not ready for me to just throw out a bubble or like a death roll or like a dash, you know? So like that'll catch somebody off guard sometimes. So on to the moving button. Down one's pretty good poke. Sometimes with down one, I like to do down one into the enhanced dash, right? If we're having like a poke battle, I would do down 1 into enhancing dash just to like kind of create some space. I would use down 1 like enhanced dash to get out of the corner, right? In situations like this right here, if I'm on this side and we're having poke battles, I would use that to kind of just get myself out of that situation. But like that's the only thing I would like to kind of do out of down 1. Forward 2 is a very good advancing mid. I like to use this in situations again, like if we're having like some poke battles and I feel like he's gonna poke back, maybe I can throw out this mid so he can't low profile it, right? If they get hit, I can hit confirm it into 2-1, right? 2-1 bubble or 2-1-1, right? Get a full combo of that. Pretty good pressure. -4 on block. Back 2, very, very good button. So overhead, so knocks him down on hit. Pretty safe on block unless it's up blocked, right? If they up block it, then you can get punished. You can charge it 2 different ways. You can do a medium charge where you'll like slam with both of his hands. The animation is a little different when they get hit. Like here's the regular one, right? And then here's the medium charge, right? So it kind of longer hit advantage, right? Sets you up for some good meaty, right? Like maybe you can like throw out that standing 3 I was talking about and maybe they'll get hit by that. Cool. Again, maybe, I don't know. I'm probably saying meaty and confusing it with Oki. I don't really care. You know what I mean, right? So I think it's good to do that or just start these overheads. This back 2, what I like to do, if I see they don't have any meter and I feel like they're not going to delay their wake up, dude, I would literally just spam back 2. I would just do this over and over.
You want to keep going for it? Fuck it. We just fucking win all day. Quit.
Unless they delay. If there's somebody that you think they're going to delay, then maybe not do it or wait a little longer. It's all like kind of just reading your opponent. Say for instance, like we're in a corner, I think it's a good time to like use like that charge one, right? And you can also like maybe follow that up with the down 1, kind of keep your turn in a way. But again, it can get up blocked, right? A substitute for this is that you can actually cancel the charge back 2 into a death roll, right? Into a BF4. A lot of people are confused on how to do this. You would basically just treat it as back 2 forward 4 without letting go of 2. Like you can literally see my inputs to the left, right? Like I literally did back 2 forward 4, and you have to basically like have the same timing of BF4 as if you did the death roll, but you're just throwing 2 in the middle of that. You can also do this with the spit, right? You can do it with the invis, and you can also do it with fatal blow, right? I've never actually done it with fatal blow before, but I can see how it can fuck somebody up. But I don't know, maybe they might like press some type of button and then you can like be like, oh, never mind. But a lot of times I use the death roll because they're not ready for that. Or if they are ready for that, then I'll just fully charge it and just go for it. So it's kind of like a, again, read your opponent type of deal. Again, if you do manage to hit them with the charge one, it will launch them, right? But for these right here, these are just good mixes to throw out, right? You can follow it up with something like that, some type of meaty, or just don't do anything if you don't want to. Maybe do a grab, you know, maybe they're not just ready for it, go for a grab, something like that. Cool. So that's back to next button, down to really good on block, right? Creates a lot of space. I like to use this to basically like kind of just get out of bad situations. Like maybe if I'm in a corner, right, something like this, and I just want them to like get off me. Pretty good anti-air tool, right? Like really good anti-air. I've never really done like the R2 like thing where you would do it with the punish. Like I've never really like done this a lot, but you could. Back 3, let's talk about back 3. Super good button. Okay, it's a low kick, has really good range. This is usually like my go-to button for a lot of different scenarios, right? Like a really good combo starter, really good to catch them on whiff. Like say for instance, like you're in a poke battle, like you're playing like neutral, right? Maybe you can throw out like 1-1 and then back up and like get them with that standing 3. I like to do like 1-1-4 into the DB4 cancel and then back 3, but I would like confirm that with back 3-1 into a bubble. Back 3-1 can be armored in between, so just be careful about that. Like if it's like down to like, you know, you have like a little bit of health or he has a little bit of health, maybe a good player might like armor through that. So if they're blocking, like a good player might do that, so just be careful throwing it out like, I don't know, willy-nilly. But again, read your opponent, figure out if they're the kind of player to do that, right? And just be cautious. The only other thing I would do with back 3, maybe sometimes I would use it as a stagger, or if they're blocking, I'll probably just back up and just do it twice, something like that. You know, maybe that'll catch them off guard. But it's a very good button. Again, we're in neutral. I would just back up like maybe even this distance and still do it, and they'll still get hit by it. Like it goes really far. Next button is forward 3, right? This kick just goes like super duper far, and it definitely catches a lot of people off guard when you're at like this medium distance. Say you knock them down maybe with like this right here, right? Like as soon as they get up, you follow it up with forward 3. Dude, sometimes they're not ready for that. They would think it's their turn and they would like press a button and they would just straight up get hit by this forward 3. I like to use this sometime to end combos. So I would do this like into the dash, like if they're like in the air. Say this the end of the combo, I would do like this and they would think like it's their turn after that. But I would basically do the dash to basically like keep my advantage after this forward 3, right? And like most times they'll get hit by that because they're just not ready for it to not be their turn. Down 3, I don't really use much. It's a pretty good poke. But I'm more likely to use down 4 just because it creates a little bit more space. Back 4, oh my lord, this is probably I think Reptile's best button. It creates so much space. I could have just started the tutorial like, you want to be good with Reptile, back 4, done. Here's one of the reasons why I like to use Mavado over any other cameo, mainly when it comes to something like back 4. Like Scorpion is pretty good too. I know a lot of y'all probably might be like, oh, like you got Sonya, Janet, Darius. Yeah, I don't care. Okay, I use Mavado, so we're gonna talk about Mavado. So like say like if you have Scorpion, you would have to pre-call out Scorpion to like basically confirm like a combo. So say like I hit back 4 or like I'm planning on doing back 4, you can't just do back 4 and then Scorpion like into up cameo or something like that, right? Like that won't land. Like you can't call them out after like that. So you would have to like call out Scorpion before, but then you would have to hope that they would unblock, right? You would have to hope that they're not blocking that back 4 for them to get hit by that Scorpion. This is like one of the tiny reasons why I like to use Mavado. It's because with Mavado, he only comes out if you hit them. You can do back 4 and spam your up cameo on block and he won't come out. You won't waste it. So right now it's like you're hoping that he gets hit, but if he doesn't get hit, you're good. Because I mean, you create a space, you're safe, right? Like it's a win-win either or. If he blocks it, you're good. If he doesn't block it, combo. So that's why I like to use Mavado. You would see me do this a lot in fights, especially like in the corner. I don't know if they're just blocking me a lot, I would back up, do a back 4, calling that Mavado, go into a full combo off that. We can talk about the grab. Cool, this grab's pretty good. It puts him at about medium range. Biggest thing with the grab is like you can do a combo off of it. So like you can call in the trap when he slams him on his face the second time, right? Calling that trap, which is just a cameo button by itself. Just straight up R1 or RB. That pretty much covers all of his single buttons. Now we can go into his strings. First strings are 1-1, 1-1-4. 1-1 is basically like my go-to kind of like punish combo. A lot of times I don't like to do the full 1-1-4 because I don't really feel like I have a lot of options or like a lot of damage I can get out of it compared to if I just did 1-1, because you can go 1-1 into bubble and then do a whole bunch of other different things off of that. With 1-1-4, however, there are cases where I like to do 1-1-4, like if they just accidentally unblock, right? So a lot of people would do this where they would block the first 2 hits but then unblock for the third one because maybe they're just not ready for the full string. They would do something like this, like they would just unblock for that third hit and you're like not ready for it. Like I'm sure that's happened to y'all a lot where it's like you're throwing the string out and you're like, oh shit, I didn't expect him to unblock. What do I do? In those type of situations, you would either A, call in Mavado, or B, do a down 1, right? That's pretty much like the main 2 options you have in that scenario. Then I would call in Mavado, the up cameo. If I don't have Mavado, you can do down 1 into BF4 and you can get a little bit of damage off that. But if you're in the corner, this is different, right? Like if you're in a corner, then I am going for 1-1-4, right? Because 1-1-4 in the corner actually allows you to do a stand 1 after, which allows you to set up a whole bunch of other stuff, right? So you can do stand 1 and then you can do maybe like 2-3. So you can go 2-3, 2-3, Mavado, bubble, boom. You can do like a 2-3 into, I don't know, something like that. Or, I mean, sometimes I might still do the bubble, right? And go into a combo, something like this. But usually if I'm mid-screen, I'm not looking for that 1-1-4. Most times I would throw it out in hopes that they're blocking the full string so that I can do this DB4 cancel. So you know what? How about this? We can actually just go ahead and talk about this because since we're on the topic of this string. So what I like to do is that DB4 is this falling Fangs slam. If they block it, you're fucked, right? They're gonna punish you. But you can actually hold down and cancel it. So with this, you can actually do it out of this 1-1-4. difficult, and a lot of times people like to take their turn back. They would like either poke or do something, and it sets you up for a whiff punish with back 3. But if you're playing a really good character or a really good player, right, most times they won't allow you to do this cancel, right? Most times they would actually choose a button that will interrupt that or punish you for it. They would actually get a full punish off of you from doing that. This goes back to reading your opponent and just understanding the type of player you're playing, right? Most times when I go into new matches, I would just do this move and just kind of see what they do about it. If they're a player that just takes their turn back and does like a poke and just allows me to do it, I'm gonna keep doing it. But if they punish me for it, then I gotta figure out different options, right? If they're ready for it, maybe I just don't do it and just keep my advantage, right? Just keep my safety, or I do it but then I armor it, right? Because if you enhance it, then it provides you armor, and if they do like a move that will punish you for it, then you can actually punish them in return. So here's an example of like what some people would do, right? They would take their turn back and then just get punished like that. But sometimes they might punish you, right? They might like push up on it and not allow you to do your thing, right? So now you're beat. But maybe you like enhance it, right? And now you get to punish, like you armor it, and so now you just punish them for trying to punish you, right? So it just depends on the character. It depends on what they want to do. Another thing I think about 114, say that for instance, remember that whole scenario where I said like they might accidentally unblock, and I said your only 2 options is either that or into the Mavado. Like, say like in your brain you're ready on block to do 114 DB4 cancel, right? And they get hit by that 3rd one, so you're like, oh snap, don't know what to do. You can actually still call in Mavado, right? Like if you just do forward 4 without letting go of down, right? Something like that. Those are like the 3 options after 114. Next string, 2-3, a very, very punishable string. The only time I like to throw this out is on punish. So like if I get an up block or if I just get a regular punish, right, then I would do this. It is a super good string, just don't throw it out in neutral because you will get punished for it. 2-4, very, very good mix. This is actually safe on block, so it's okay to actually throw this out. I don't usually like to do this against good players because most times they would just block low, like if they know that's coming, because that's usually the only thing that's coming out. A not so good player, maybe like a mid player, would fall for this a lot, and then you can go into a lot of different strings. It's someone that just likes to stand block a lot, and you would catch them like that. But a good player knows that with Reptile, you're not about to do 2-3, right? Because they know you're about to get punished. So like pretty much the only thing they're expecting after standing 2 is 2-4, so they'll low block it. So a lot of times I like to throw out 2-4 from like this distance because they're just not ready for that. Look how far that tail goes. Follow into a full combo of that, right? Maybe if you're invisible, you know, like if you're fully invisible and then throw out that 2-4, man, they're not expecting that a lot of times. Next string, forward 2-1, right? Again, this is mainly so if you just get the hit confirm off that mid, and then you have forward 2-1-1. Okay, pre-patch, if they were to flawless block that 3rd hit, then they can punish you, but now they can't punish you. So you can pretty much just throw the string out, you know, whenever you want, and you're good, and it's safe, right? And there's a bunch of pushback. Sometimes, just like how we're talking about, maybe people unblock for that 3rd hit. A lot of times this happens right here. They would just unblock for that 3rd hit, right? And then you can just confirm it into a Mavado or a Scorpion or whatever you want to do, and that works. It's pretty much what I think about with 4-2-1. I kind of like to do it on pressure. Like say for instance, like, I don't know, you hit them with something like this, right? I would just like follow up with a 4-2-1. They might not be ready for it. They might unblock for it. Forward 2-3, same concept as 2-3. Wouldn't throw it out on neutral, but like if I were to be going like on some pressure, right, and I want to throw out that mid and they're not ready for it, then that could work. The main difference with forward 2-3 and 2-3, forward 2 is actually more damage, right? Like standing 2 is 30%, forward 2 is 50%, right? So like if you get a good punish, it's much better to go forward 2-3 than just 2-3. If you can land forward 2-3, definitely do that more than 2-3. Like if you're in a corner, I would not recommend doing this. Yeah, I would always recommend forward 2-3. Okay, do as many forward 2-3s as you can, and then if you can't, like maybe get that last standing 2-3. Next string, forward 2-4, right? Same kind of deal how I would use like standing 2-4, except the forward 2 like moves you forward. So maybe they're not ready for that. Maybe they might unblock. The thing with this is like if you get a punish, you might as well just go for forward 2-3. I wouldn't really do forward 2-4 on punish because you can just get more damage out of forward 2-3. But I mean, it's good for situations like this, if you want to just catch them off guard with that tail. Next string is back 3-1. This is usually my go-to bread and butter kind of string. The only thing you got to watch out for this is if you're up against a really good player and say that your health is like down this low, like you're both like one hit, they will actually like armor through it. A good player would do that, right? But in most cases, it's okay to pretty much throw this out, right? Like on block. It is pretty safe, and I usually like to confirm it with like a bubble, right? And that's kind of like my go-to bread and butter combo, something like this. The next string, back 3-1-3, right, is this slide. So that string is actually punishable, the third hit. Sometimes I would throw that out with the intent to do like a enhanced dash after it, so that way I can keep myself safe. So I would do something like this, because if they flawless block that second hit, it's not punishable. It used to be. So I would kind of do that just to like hope that they would unblock. Most times I would throw the string out and then do a dash after. This is pretty risky, but again, this is a read your opponent type of thing. Sometimes they might just unblock after that last hit and just get hit by that dash. But if they don't get hit, then you're fried. You're gonna get punished. But then at the same time, you can do an enhanced one and you can keep yourself safe. And like if I'm expecting them to like block the dash after, then like I would throw a trap to keep myself safe. Sometimes they might fall for it. Sometimes they might unblock for that third hit, right? Like what we were talking about earlier. Say they're blocking the first two hits and then they just unblock for the third one. That happens a lot, right? And you're not really ready for it. Like if they just unexpectedly unblock that third hit, then you can do like an up cameo and just go ahead and finish out the combo. So like something like that, go into a combo. Or if you already like did the dash after, I mean, you can still call in Mavado. Another good situation that I would use back 3-1-3 is like if I'm at a distance, say I'm playing like I'm doing like some shadow boxing, right? And I'm hoping that like they're gonna get whiff punished. Sometimes they're not expecting me to do that for that last three, because it is like kind of a slide, right? See what I mean? It's kind of like a Sub-Zero slide. So sometimes they're not ready for that last one, and you can use that to your advantage, right? You can like shadow box like the back 3-1 and then get that slide from across screen, right? Most times I'm not ready for that. So, or say like they jump over this, right? Like in this scenario, you're probably thinking like, oh crap, he's gonna punish me. So like I would just do the last move just to get myself out of that situation. Like they jump over it, oh let me get out of here, like things like that, right? It can be risky to throw out just 3-1-3. Most times I just like to do it just to catch my opponents off guard, right? Like if they're just blocking the whole thing. That's pretty much the only cases that I would use back 3-1-3. Next string is 4-3-1. Same deal as like 4-2-1. Say in instances you knock them down and then you do this on pressure, you can confirm it with 4-3-1 into like a bubble. Super safe on block. If they flawless block it, you're good, right? So just a good way just to keep your advantage. If for like at far distances, maybe I would like shadow box with it. Like I'll throw it out from way back here and hopefully they get hit by that third hit. Next string is 4-3-2. Okay, so this right here is what I usually use for like combo enders. I would never ever throw this out like in neutral. This is super bad. Like you definitely get punished for it. Yeah, so I would set them up for things like this, like the invis or the death roll, right? Mavado, something like that. And then that's it. That's all the strings. So we can go into the aerial attacks real quick. So really the only ones is like 1-2 and 2-3-3. The main thing with 2-3-3 is that it can be followed up with DB4. Boom. 1-2 you can actually also do on the Falling Fangs. It's just a little bit less damage. But the thing about this is that notice how 1-2 sends them up higher in the sky, right? 2-3-3 actually knocks them on the ground. So if you're doing certain combos that last a long time, you won't actually be able to land the Falling Fangs after 2-3-3 because of the gravity scaling. But if you do 1-2, you can actually land it. Here's just one example, right? So say we do this long combo right here, right? Right, you see how the third hit of 2-3-3 didn't actually hit because the gravity scaling was actually like getting to his limit, right? But if I were to do 1-2, it'll actually send him up, right, like high, so that I can land the Falling Fangs. So this right here, right? So see what I mean? And this is just one example, but if you play the character a lot, you'll notice that there's a lot of cases where you would try to do 2-3-3 in the air, like that will actually just not land, and then you will get punished for it. So a lot of cases, it may be better for you to just do 1-2, so you can guarantee that you're gonna land that DB4. Cool. So that's pretty much covers the air strings, like how I think about those. As far as jump 3 and jump 4, jumping 3 or jumping 4, I would do this maybe like if I want to set up like a DB4 cancel, like that'll work sometimes. Most times I would use jump 4 in the corner to get an extra hit on my combo, so something like this. On to the special moves. First we have the spit, the hawk Tuah. I don't usually do this a whole lot. Sometimes I like to do this just to throw them off, like if I feel like they're gonna press me from like medium range, like here. Sometimes I might do it just to like get them off me, or for like low health, I would do that. On block, it is punishable, right? It is -16, but it does create some space. So you could use this in a scenario like, say, like if they were to do like a standing one, right? You can actually probably like get a punish off for that. See, like if I were to do like the acid spit and it pushes them off and he tried to punish me for it, right? Maybe I can punish him for it. You could use the spit as like an anti-air tool, right? Like if they jump in, you can use it as an anti-air and then call them Mavado. Something like that, right? That's the only times I would like think of using it. You can actually charge up the spit, right, and turn it into a projectile that covers up like the full screen. It is a very long startup, so you just got to be careful of that. If you enhance it, however, it turns into a mid, right? Because in most cases people would just duck this, but a lot of people don't know that like it's the enhanced one's a mid, so they would try to duck it and they would get hit by it. So this is something that I would do, like if our health is like really low, start like a mid, like an enhanced spit. You can get the dub off of it. If you do the enhanced spit and you don't charge it, like, it's like super long range. So sometimes I just like to throw this out like unexpectedly, like if it's like low health or anything like that. If I want them to just get off me, right, like in those kind of clutch moments, really big hit advantage, not a bad thing to just throw out there like kind of unexpectedly. Cool. Next is the dash attack, right? I use this a lot. It's super fast, catches a lot of people off guard, especially like from mid screen. Sometimes I like to just start off fights like this, like as soon as the fight starts, dash, right, like instantly. Like they're just not ready for me to just do that a lot of times. The dash is also good in cases like this where you're full screen. If you were to dash up on them, they would think that it's their turn or they can punish you, but the recovery is so fast you can just do like a stand one and just interrupt them. So something like that, right? If it's blocked, it is very punishable. However, the enhanced version is not punishable, even if they flawless block the second hit. If I want to, I can bait them with a trap. All right, so like they block it, I'll throw this out, and then they'll just get hit by the trap, right? Or like they can't punish me for it. Another time I like to use the dash attack is like at the end of combos. I would end combos with like 4-3 or like maybe 4-2 or just like standing one, and then just do a dash after. Right? Say we're like here, and then sometimes I would just end it with like standing one into a dash. And like a lot of times, like in their head, they see this and they're like, oh, he dropped this combo, and so they would like press a button and try to punish me for it. But in reality, I just kept my advantage, right? So I would do that and then just do another string, and sometimes they get hit by that. The enhanced dash I like to do after like down one, stuff like that, right? I like to do it at the end of punishable strings like back 3-1-3, and I like to keep myself safe with the trap. Force ball. All right, this is like the special move that I use the absolute most. It is punishable on block, so like don't ever just throw this out in their face, right? Definitely use it as a projectile or something to extend your combos. I mean, usually after stuff like 1-1, force ball, 4-2-1, force ball, back 3-1, force ball. From different ranges, like say you're like here and you're expecting them to like shadow box or like throw out a move, you can throw out a force ball, right? And they'll get hit by it. The main things you need to know about force balls, I just call them bubbles. The main things you need to know about your bubbles is that there's 3 different kinds, right? If you don't hold any directional buttons, then that's the regular speed, right? If you hold forward, then it's gonna be faster. And if you hold back, then it's gonna be slower. You cannot throw out 2 of the same bubble. So you cannot do like a fast one followed by a fast one, because then it'll knock them back, right? But if you do a fast one followed by a slow one, then it'll pop them up again. A regular one followed by like a fast one, or a regular one followed by like a slow one, right? As long as you do 2 different ones, you can pop them up. Now, but you can't do 3 though, right? So you can't do like slow, regular, and fast. That'll still knock them back. You can only do up to 2. You can do more bubbles if you enhance them though, right? Say like I did regular, slow, and then you can enhance, and then enhanced ones are just gonna pop up endlessly, because I guess that's your reward for enhancing them. So that's one of the biggest things to think about, right? Especially when you think about setting up your combos, right? Like say for instance, you get a combo off back 3-1. I like to do the regular bubble here because it's enough speed to where it hits them. Now you're at a distance where you feel like you need to do a fast bubble, but you don't, right? I would more so do the regular bubble, because if you want to do the slow or the fast bubble afterwards, you have that freedom, versus if you were to do the fast one, now your only option is to do the regular or the slow one. So I usually like to start it off with the regular one, right? Go through my combo, whatever, right here, fast one. Or you can start off the combos with the enhanced bubble, because it'll actually scale better, right? So you can like start it off with the enhanced, do something like this. Here's a slow one, call it Mavado after this, fast one, boom. Right, that's kind of an example of like using your bubbles efficiently, like the speed of them. Here's another thing you need to think about the bubbles. That's super good. Say you're at full screen distance. A lot of times at this range, Reptile is pretty weak because he doesn't have a lot of options. I mean, he has the spit, but again, the startup is so long, you're not going to win a lot of fireball battles. What I like to do is throw out a slow enhanced bubble. So if you do a slow enhanced bubble, it's actually going to travel all the way over. Right, so you can use this to set up, like to get in, basically. If you're back here, you're getting zoned out a lot, just throw out a slow enhanced bubble, dash in front of it, and now it's like you have them scared, because like if they hit you, if they do anything, they're gonna get hit by that bubble. So you can pretty much either like just pressure them, grab them. Like I like to do this, like I would go in front of it and then like grab them and they'll get hit by the bubble. You can go in and do like a standing 3 cancel and they get hit by the bubble like that.
Got him. Oh my God, beautiful.
Another thing I like to do is throw out the slow bubble and then do a death roll to make them think that they can punish me, but then they'll just get hit by the bubble. So this right here.
That was pretty crazy.
Now there are some cases where a smart player would just enhance, like just do like an armor through the bubble, right? Again, you just got to read your opponent and just think about what they might do. Be careful throwing them out from like this range because they will punish you, but like from like here, sometimes I just throw them out in hopes that they might jump on it, right? It's a good anti-air tool. A lot of times you can just throw it out and they'll get hit by it. Another tip on the bubble, another option is if you're at full range, I like to throw out the slow bubble and then do a back cameo. And they would actually just straight up get hit by it because most times they're gonna either like projectile through it or just be still or whatever. So like when they're not ready for it, I'll just call in that back Mavado and they would just get hit by the bubble. Right, you can do that to like end rounds or something like that. Death roll. Be careful with this just in general because it is very much punishable. I usually like to do this for the end of combos. So like if I end the combo with 4-3-2, then I would do a death roll. I like to do this from full screen. If we're like in a kind of projectile battle and I feel like they're just gonna just do another one or spam them, then I would do the death roll to low profile it. If you run into a character that's using Serena, you can use the death roll to actually like interrupt that. You can actually do death roll after the first 2 things that she throws. Death roll. Or if your timing is good, you can duck the second one and do like a 4-2 in the spit and get a full combo off that. Right, that actually combos. So that's if your timing is good. My timing is kind of ass, so like usually in most cases I would just do the death roll, this right here. But if it's good and you're ready for it, do that 4-2. Another thing you can do with death roll is like in the corner you can put a trap down. You can't do it from full screen, right? So that'll never hit, right? But if you're in the corner, however, that actually works. So in some cases, if I get a 1-1-4 off and I don't have any meter, but I do have a cameo, like a full cameo, I would do something like this. Right, something like that. Sometimes I like to do it after like back 3-1-3. Now it is like, this is very, very risky, but a lot of times people aren't thinking about it. See how much space it is between that last 3 and the death roll, right? Sometimes they will just unblock for that and they're just not ready for that, right? But I mean, again, you know, you can't get punished for it, but also you can keep yourself safe with the trap, right? Sometimes that you can do that. This is another one of those cases. Read your opponent, feel out how they play. Maybe they might fall for it, maybe might not. So if they don't fall for it, just don't do it. Simple as that. BF4 enhanced death roll, right? That's going to be basically used as your armor. So like if you get knocked down, you can wake up armor and just, you know, take your turn back, or just like force your turn if you're getting like pressured. So scenarios like this, right? Or if you like block the hit, but you know, he's like pressuring you, you can just use that to basically like force your turn back. I like to do that in cases where like it's like the end game and our health is low and he's like pressuring me bad and I feel like I can like get an armor out. I would do that, or sometimes like in the middle of a gap string or something like that. Another way I think about the BF4 armor, say like you're like full screen and you're getting like spam with projectiles, or if like there's like a slow one like Reptile's bubble, you can use the armor to basically like get in and just eat through all those projectiles. So something like this, that's pretty much the only times I would think to use the BF4 armor. Next we have the invisibility. The main difference with the regular one and the enhanced one just lasts longer, obviously. I like to do this in situations where I just want to set up some invisibility like gameplay, like some strings. I usually pop the invisibility after I do 4-3-2 as a combo ender. So say for instance, like here's a short combo, right? But I would do that. So a good tip with invisibility is that if you go into it, you can actually do DB4, right, and go instant invisible, right? Because if you don't, look how long it takes to go invisible. Yeah, that's pretty ass, right? But you can actually just go DB4 and now you're instant invisible. You can go into whatever mix you want. Now, the thing about this though is like in most cases, I would never just go invisible in their face, right? Because they're not gonna let me do it. And like if you get hit even on block, you will go out of it, which I hate because Jesus Christ. Smoke's invisibility is so much better than Reptile's. But if you get hit right on block, it'll go away. Right, so you really want to be like cautious of what you do while you're invisible. Most times, if I'm invisible, I like to like go for a grab because it's like, you know, it's hard for them to like take a grab they can't see, or so most times they're not just ready for it. Another thing you can do invisible is to go 2-4, right? Do that 2-4 thing, like I said, from a distance. That's something that they're definitely not ready for, right? Because you can kind of tell, like if you're a good player, you can tell if somebody's close range versus if they're mid range versus if they're back here, because you can just see how the camera moves. And so most times if I'm invisible, right, I would do 2-4 and they're not ready for it. If you do the DB4 cancel and enhance it, you will be invisible for a short period of time, right, which will set you up for some good mixes. In most cases, this is good to do after this, right? But it does put you at a distance where you don't really have much tools to work with, because all you have is like your bubble, right, and like your spit. But I mean, when you're invisible, you want to do invisible things, right? You want to be on them and like do some type of mix up. And if you're at that distance, it's not going to allow you. But what you could do is maybe call in a Mavado, right? Like you can do go invis, call in Mavado, and like get in like that, and that'll give you a little bit more time. Or you could put a slow bubble in front of you and use that time to go invisible. But most times when I do this, I just kind of like either jump in, or maybe I'll dash up, or just find a way to get in without getting touched. So that's sort of a read your opponent type of thing. Next, you have your falling fangs. We pretty much talked about this already a lot. Just be careful because it's super punishable on block, but this is something that I like to do to end combos, right? Maybe sometimes I like to do it after the standing 3, like sometimes I'm not ready for that. I usually just do the DB4 as invisibility cancels, just to throw them off guard. Now that we're on this topic, we can go back to standing 3, right, and talk about, you know, things that you can do off of that, right? So with standing 3, if you do standing 3 and then do the cancel, you can actually confirm that into a combo. So there's basically 3 different ranges you can do this from. I think when you're close range and you manage to get a standing 3 off, it's best to follow up with 4-2, because then you can do 4-2-3 and that'll lead you to some really big damage. In most cases, you're really not gonna like go for standing 3 this close. You're more likely going to want to do it from this distance. But there are times, say for instance, like if you do this and they block the first one and then it brings them closer and then they just unblock the second one, now you're at close range, you can throw out that 4-2. Now if you're mid range, obviously the 4-2 would miss. So if you're mid range, I would recommend going for 4-3. So something like this, right? If you're full range like here, then obviously the 4-3 is gonna miss, right? So if you're like full distance and you get the standing 3 off, then that 4-3 isn't gonna hit. So the best thing to do here is another standing 3, right? Or what you can do is do another stand 3 but then enhance the DB4, right? So if you get this off and then do another stand 3 into an enhanced DB4, you can actually still confirm a combo off of that. So you can actually use that to get them closer. Like if you don't want to do this right here, right? If you don't want to do 2 standing 3s, then you can do another DB4, right? An enhanced one, and get them a little bit closer so that you can hit that 4-3. So you can go that right there. Or in another instance, like if you're mid range and you're looking to do that 4-2-3, right? You can also use that like on block, like if they're blocking that standing 3, right? And they just unexpectedly get hit by another one, then just do that enhanced one and bring them a little bit closer. But if you do not enhance it, if you do 2 regular ones, it will not work. You will not be able to confirm the combo, right? You have to enhance the DB4. You can also use falling fangs to avoid like projectile pressure, or if somebody's like using Serena a lot. So cases like this. And that covers, I think, all the special moves. With the cameos, the main ones we have is that trap drop, which you talked about a lot, right? We have the back R1. I like to use back Kameo with Mavado to allow me to get in cases where they're just spamming projectiles. Sometimes I'll just do this just to let myself get in. Now notice that I get up before the character, right? Before my opponent, right? Which sets me up for some good like advantage or meaty. Maybe I might get up and not do anything, because maybe they might be expecting me to get up and do something, and they do something and they get punished for it. Forward Mavado, pretty much just a combo extender. Down Kameo, I like to do that in scenarios when, say, like their health is low. I guess like sometimes they're not just expecting that last hit. I would just do that at the very end. So I would do something like this, right? Like say this is the end of the combo, and then I'll just throw that out. And sometimes they might get hit by it. And it does actually a pretty decent amount of damage when they get hit. Another scenario where I like to do the down Kameo is I would like to set up a hard to block kind of deal. And you actually have a bit of time to throw out that down Kameo. Like look how much time you have. Like after they're fully up, you can still throw it out, right? So like if I have them knocked down, I actually like to do that right there, right? I would throw out the down Kameo with the overhead. And most times they might get hit by either one of them, so it kind of sets up a hard to block kind of deal. And then the up Kameo, right? We use that for combos like this, like the 114. We actually should talk about the fatal blow. The fatal blow actually is an overhead, and it's very punishable on block, just like any other fatal blow. Usually I like to do this out of 4-3-2, right? This is a good way to do it. You can also do it off of back 3-1. So say like if y'all's health are like low, like say his health is at 30% and yours is pretty low, you're looking to just end it, right? You can go for that back 3-1, maybe you get a whip punish, and then boom, fatal blow, right? You're in there. Take note, you cannot do it off 4-3-1, right? That will be blocked, right? So check this out. Cannot do it off that, will be punished for that. You cannot do it off 4-2-1, right? Let me see. You can't do it off 1-1. You can't do it off standing 4. One of the biggest things you need to take into account with fatal blow, you don't want to do it after a Mavado, right? So if you call in a Kameo, that will scale your fatal blow a lot. Like say for instance, if we did it off the trap, right? So say we hit him with the trap and we did a fatal blow combo off that. So we did something like this, right? Boom, and then into a fatal blow. Look at how much this scales, right? This is not going to be crazy damage. That is not a lot. Like 33 is not a lot, especially with all that just happened. Now, if we don't use any Mavado, right? Like we do something like this, right? Check out how much damage this is. Much better scaling, like almost 50%. Brutalities, if you want to set up some good brutalities, obviously the down 2, right? That's like you would get that like maybe off like a whiff punish, right? You can just straight up do it. This one right here, you would get off of a grab, right? So like if you want to end it with the grab, you would just hold down. Not hold down, you would spam down and you would get that one. BF4, you end the combo something like this, and then do that, you would spam up, you get the brutality like that. You got the dash, right? You just hold 2. Sometimes I like to do that like maybe if their health is low and I know that they can't really like block the enhanced one, then most times I would just do that to chip them out. I would do this a lot just to chip them out up until they get down to that last bit and they can't block it, and they would just get brutality for it. This one right here, you have to fully charge it. I like to do that in cases where, like I said, you'd call in that down Kameo. So you got them here, and then I would call in the down, right? And if they're like blocking and they're at chip damage health, then you can get that that charge back to brutality in there. 4-3-2, you would just hold back and use that as a combo ender, right? You just hold back and you'll get that brutality. This one right here, the acid spit, I actually haven't got this one a lot. You would have to hold 1 and hold back, but that's only if you like get this like long ass startup projectile off, and you got to be jump distance away. And then 114, you just hold down, he'll kick their head off. I like to do that at chip damage because 114 does do chip damage. So like if they're just really low, you can just do this, right? And their heads will pop clean off. And that pretty much covers all of his moves and all the things that I think about when I do them. Right, that pretty much covers them to like the fullest extent. All right, so let's talk about combos for a bit. I'm just gonna give you a couple like big tips that I think about when it comes to combos with Reptile. So the biggest thing is after back 3-1, or like if I just start any combo, right? Like say if I get a force ball, I usually like to whiff the first hit on 2-3 and then just land 3. So I would do this right here. Right, what this does is that it allows you to get 3 knees in the combo versus just 2. So say like if I didn't whiff it, right, this would happen, right, and then I wouldn't be able to get a third one. But if I whiff it on purpose, then I'm able to get more hits. If I were to get a combo off 4-2-3 or like started with 2-3, I will whiff the first one. Now I'm able to go forever. If you're in a corner, you can actually get like an extra one off. And a lot of people get messed up by this because I'm like, bro, like how many times are you gonna do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A tip for that is to make sure that you're hitting the opponent right at the peak of their drop, because if they drop any lower than that, then the gravity is gonna scale down and you're not gonna be able to land that 5th one. If you do this right here, right, then you're gonna miss it. But if you hit them at the peak of it, right, then you'll be able to land it. Another thing I like to think about is using my bubbles efficiently. So if I were to ever like get a 1-1-4 off, something like this, then I would do 4-2 into like a slow bubble, then 4-2 into a fast bubble, something like that. Kind of my go-to on back 3-1. I would do back 3-1 into like a regular bubble, get the whiff in, get those 3 knees, and then do like a slow one, and then do 2-3-3. Another good thing I like to think about is like maybe doing after the first 2-3-3 is to do like a up cameo and then jump into another 2-3-3 to set you up with some pressure. So something like this right here. Right, you can do something like that to kind of get in their face, right? Like to set up some more pressure. If I were to do like back 2 charge, I would do like 4-2 into like 2 bubbles, right? So like 4-2 bubble, 4-2 bubble, and then 4-3-2 into either the death roll or set up the invisibility, right? Set up my mix-ups here. A lot of times, like when I'm invisible, I like to go for like a back 4, right? Off back 4, I would do up cameo, Mavado. With the back 4, if you're up close, I would recommend doing like a 4-2 into a fast bubble, right? Just to get you some more hits in. If you're like far back, right, then it's best to just go for 4-3-2 because that's the only thing you can do. When it comes to his grab, right, I like to set this up with invisibility and then do like a 4-2 slow bubble, 4-2 fast bubble into the death roll. I said slow bubble, I meant regular bubble. If I get a standing 3 off, right, a standing 3 cancel off, this is actually like one of the biggest like damaging combos that you can get with Mavado. If I were to get 2-4 off, right, from a distance, call him Mavado like that, maybe get like a 4-2 into a bubble, something like that. One of the most important things is like if you're in the corner, if you get a back 4 Mavado off, right, you want to follow this up with 2-3 before you go into your bubble stuff. Notice that in the corner, this would actually drop. Like if you do Mavado and then do a 2-3 and then try to do a bubble, right? So try to do like this, 2-3 into a forward bubble, right? That actually would not work. Again, this is an example of like not doing 2-3-3, right? Because this will actually drop. So, right, that wouldn't work. But you could do 1-2 and that'll work. Cool. Another tip in the corner. Notice at the end of that combo, if I would have tried to do the falling fangs, I would have definitely got punished for it. So in that case, I just would not finish it out. I would just cancel it and then just go into some other stuff, or just don't do it at all. Just do 1-2 and then be ready for either him to wake up or go into more pressure. Right, I would do something like that and then just set up more pressure, or just don't do anything, just be ready to bait a block, something like bait like a punish or something like that. Say like we're center screen, right, and you get this 3-1-1 off and you call him Mavado and then you do 4-2-3 into a bubble. See how that drops in the corner? That works. So boom, boom. One of my favorite things to do to set up a cool brutality is just to spam all of my my bubbles. Say like I'm just spamming all my bubbles. I use that last enhanced one and then I do one more regular one so it doesn't pop them up as high, but then I can do a down 2 and it'll send them on the other side. Then I'll call my up Mavado and I'll do a death roll. If you're in my streams a lot, this is the main combo I like to do at the end of like hilarious fights, just to end with a crazy brutality. A tip for when you're getting this jump 4 is to wait a little bit longer, like towards the end of the fall, before you actually call in the bubble. Because if you do it too early, then in most cases it would miss. Like say if you got the whole combo off, right, that'll actually miss. So you want to wait a little bit longer before you do it, so your feet can touch the ground earlier. You can call in the bubble. All right, so that that's pretty much, I would say, everything that I think about the Reptile. Okay, if there's anything that I missed, I mean, just let me know, bro. Like, again, I'm not the best, so if there's something like, you know, like, oh, you can get more optimal with this, or like, oh, you missed this, oh, there's this cameo, like, you know, just let me know in the comment. It's cool. I just wanted to just give you all the knowledge that I think about. Hopefully this provided some value to you. Again, I am not by any means like the best of the best. I'm just a guy that uses Reptile a lot, and just wanted to share some knowledge. So if y'all could leave a like, that'd be greatly appreciated. And come through there in the stream. If you like what you see, I stream on TikTok a lot and Twitch, just fighting a Reptile. You can come find me. I play viewers a lot. So if you want to come hang out, get some sets in, come through in the stream, let's do it. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one. Bye.